What up? Put my glasses on so I can see. Wasn't supposed to come on today, but I had a vision about Trump. The Lord on me. And I forgot to give y'all May word, the word for May, because we was talking about other important things. So how's everybody doing today? How's the market? I haven't even looked at the market today. How's the market? Hey, how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? I'm trying to find it. Hold on. I don't know what I did with it. Is this it? Okay, we're waiting for some more people. Who's in here? Hey, Vince. Grand Rising. Hi, Ben Flo Dollar. Greetings. Hi, Faith Walker. Hi, Subu. Grand Rising. I can't even say your name, but your last name, Christopher. Grand Rising. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Brother Andrew. Amani, I think. I don't want to butcher y'all names, but your last name is Anderson. Hey, Miss Tia. Jay Moore. Mike. Hey, Sister Shelly, what up? Tell Sister Kelly and Brother Travis hello. Barry. What's that? Dooman 85. Mike. Alicia. Ken. God's favorite. Jaya. Yeah, y'all names. Cormilla, what up? Destiny. All right, listen. I wasn't supposed to come on here today because I'm supposed to be heading out. Oh, look. The Lord, he lit a fire under my booty yesterday. So y'all, I uploaded the 99-cent book yesterday. They approved it last night. I also uploaded the Akaski records as an ebook on Amazon. And the 30-day warfare prayer is on Amazon. And they're all approved and ready. I was about to get the links and then my computer started acting up and it was like 8 o'clock. I had to pray. So hopefully tomorrow I'll get all the links and put them, the ebook links, and put them in the community thing. But if you can't wait, just go to Amazon, put in Rosalind Solomon ebooks because they're under Rosalind Solomon. And you could look for 30-day warfare prayer, the Akaski records, how to see and hear from God in 7 days, or 30 days, one of them. And the social media book, if you want to learn about social media, and the master in the room, right? Now, Before I tell you about this other book, I gotta see if it was published yet. I don't think it was yet, because I just put it up last night, so I doubt they published it, but I'm gonna see. It's like 155 pages. Hold on. They still ain't published my mental health book. I'm having a hard time with that book. For 2 months, I've been going back and forth with them. I made it a hardback, and for some reason, the jacket keep overlacking. So I might have to turn it into a paperback if they let me, or redo it again. And it's such a good book. And I said, Daddy, that's why the devil messing with me. Just like that, how to see and hear God. Do you know I lost the file? Good thing I had it in Barnes and Nobles to go and get it, to upload it to Amazon. I said, Daddy, what happened to the file? It gone. I clicked on it. Microsoft, it said it's no longer available. The devil is a liar. And that mental health book, I've been fighting for 2 months. I'm like, I know the enemy's attacking me, but Daddy said it's gonna make it. It's gonna go through. I'm like, please, Daddy, because that's such a good book. Hold on, my phone buffering. Really? Oh no, it's not available yet. But I could tell you about it. I just uploaded it like 7 o'clock last night, so it might not be available till this evening or maybe Wednesday or Thursday. But it's called Quantum Immortality: Exploring the Infinite Self Beyond Death. So it's called Quantum. Write it down. It's called Quantum Immortality: Exploring the Infinite Self Beyond Death. I'm going to make it an ebook too, but it's going to be a big ebook because it's 155 pages. So on Barnes and Nobles, I think I made it for 20 something 99, but on ebook I'm going to make it 18 bucks. So I've been wanting to tell you about this book, but I wanted to publish it first. This, like, I already have a quantum book. Back in the day when it was on Create Space, some of y'all bought it. I still have it. It's in my personal collection. I'm probably going to publish that in the future. So I already have a quantum book out. But this quantum book is different. I'm just going to give you a little tidbit. Do you know when people off themselves? You know what I mean by off themselves, right? Because you can't say certain words, or delete themselves. Do you know that sometimes they don't always go to hell? They jump to another timeline. Because if that person, not all of them, but some of them, if that person is a chosen one of God, I'm not talking about the skin color or who was first. I'm just saying if they're chosen one of the Lord, and they decided to die untimely by deleting themselves, and God don't want them to do that, He can intervene and put you in another timeline. You will, like, or let's say you die in a car accident and God didn't want you to die. You'll think you dead, but you'll wake up in another timeline. And you won't remember anything about the previous timeline. All you're going to remember is the accident, or if you killed yourself, or how you died. That's all you're going to remember. You're not going to remember anything from that life, but you're going to remember everything in the new timeline. You could even be younger. You could be older. You could have a sickness, or you could be healthy. You could wind up being in poverty, or you could wind up being rich, depending on that timeline. So this book is really going to wake people up. When God was talking to me about that, I was like, Daddy, that makes perfect sense, because they have different timelines. There's so many different timelines, and the timelines are different realms. So if Daddy's not ready for you to go, Satan, he killed you, whatever. Or you could have died because of sin, or you killed yourself, right? If God not ready for you to go, He'll put you in another timeline. You'll be the same person, but in that timeline, you have to accept whatever's in that timeline. If you're rich, if you're poor, you could be a well-known person. You be a woman married with kids, and in your old timeline you wasn't, and you'll remember the end of the last timeline. And God allows that so you can understand why you winded up in that timeline. Like, let's say you try to off yourself and you wind up in that other timeline. You're gonna be like, wow, I killed myself, but now God put me, so it's an awesome book. I really took my time, listening to God and researching stuff, and putting the book together in my perspective. Guys, he even gave me prayers. Prayers! Prayers! Prayers. What? All right, so hopefully it'll be published later today or tomorrow or Friday. You can get on Barnes and Nobles, and then I'm gonna upload it probably tomorrow to Amazon. And Amazon is approving my ebooks like within a couple of hours. I was like, oh, they're not mad at me no more. So you'll probably be able to get it on the ebook tomorrow or Thursday if you like ebooks. Baruch, Baruch, Baruch. Grand Rising. You said something going to happen. I can't remember. It's in one of my videos. Sorry. Not sorry. Forgive me. I can't remember. You have to go and listen to the video. I don't even know what video is in. Usually people remind me when prophecies come to pass. It's like 3 people sent me stuff yesterday. I gotta look at it. Yes, another day in paradise. Good to see you all too. Yeah, so the book will be available hopefully by Thursday, and then the ebook hopefully tomorrow when I put it up. If I don't put it up tomorrow, I'll definitely be putting it up Friday. And it's gonna really shock y'all. And wow, it's gonna shock y'all. And it's gonna wake y'all up. So I'm doing books that's waking people up, especially at a casket records. You got to get that book. And I'm getting good reviews from people that bought the Seeing and the Learning How to Hear and See God. But Pat helped me to realize I forgot to put day 1 through 5 in there. And I'm like, see, that's the devil. Because I know the first time I put it up, it was just the chapters. I said, how did that happen? So I went back and put the full book up. And then Pat tells me yesterday, because she bought the book. She didn't do the ebook. And she said, sis, you missing 1 through 5 days of prayer. I said, what? She was like, yeah, all this good teaching. Then when you get to the days, it says day 6, day 7, day 8. I'm like, but day 1 through 5 was there and it's gone. And I'm trying to find the file. And I got it over there on Barnes and Nobles, but that's the file for the book. So I'm like, what the world? So I just told her to just do day 6 through 30 because it's day 6 through 30. It's all right. If you're missing day 1 through 5, it's fine. Just do day 6 through 30 and make sure you fast a couple of days for those of you who have the book or the ebook. It's still an excellent book. I'm still getting reviews on it. It's still helping people. It's just missing the 5-day prayer. That's it. But the rest of it is good. I was like, how did that happen? All right, so let me give you the vision on Trump, then I'll give you the main one. Guys, this vision about President Donald J. Trump, I was like, what? Okay, he was in a coffin. It was a big coffin. I think it was like a silky color, silky golden beige. Like in the inside, like the interior was like a silky golden beige color. And it was big. It looked bigger than the coffins that they normally put a president in. And guys, he had on a jumpsuit that was red, white, and blue. And I said in the vision, I was talking to God in the vision. I said, Daddy, He got on a red and white and blue jumpsuit. I said, that represents America. That represents the flag of America. And then, guys, this is going to floor you. He was a black man, but it was Trump. He was a black man. He was as black as my shirt. And then I said to God in the vision, I said, Daddy, that's Donald Trump. I said, but he a black man. I said, he not white in the casket. He's a black man. I said, what the world? Right? And then Daddy said, pray for him, because if they kill him, they're going to kill America with him. You know, like all the stuff he doing for America, you know, a lot of us who can see in the spirit know what he's doing is going to be good in 9 to 12 months. People will see it. But if that man dies before 2026, Daddy said America going to go right along with him. All the changes and stuff he did, some of the things he did and some of the laws, they could never, you know, bring them back, like the federal tax law, Social Security, and stuff like that. But some of these other laws that he made, it took away, like the 1965 Act and the what was that other one? I forget it, right? You know, some of those things, but like the immigration laws and all of that, they can't take back. Federal taxes, Social Security, crypto stuff, they can't change. But a lot of other stuff they can't. And then the Lord said, Donald Trump ain't even finished, y'all. He just getting started. He only been in there, 2 months almost? So God said he just getting started with his fingers. He got a lot of plans for us. Like he the first president that's going to sit down with Iran. Just like he was the first president to meet the North Korean president. So he about to sit down with Iran on Saturday, right? And God had me pray against Israel, because he said Israel is pissed that Donald Trump is sitting down with Iran to make a nuke deal, right? And so God said, pray against Israel trying to preempt it. Because y'all remember 3 years ago, I told y'all that Israel was going to do something to Iran, and it was going to be one of the gravest mistakes they ever make. Now, so while this talk is going on, I think it's supposed to be this Saturday or next Saturday. Iran, who knows? I mean, Israel, who knows who they're going to blow up and try and, look what Russia did. They just blew up in Ukraine and killed 20,000 innocent people. War is not good. So the Lord said, pray against Israel that they won't make any provocations or any acts that could like cancel out the talks. Because he said they're very mad and they're jealous because Trump is sitting down with Iran. Why would they be jealous? I mean, Iran got nukes, right? They one of our bad enemies, right? Why wouldn't we want to make a nuke deal with them? You keep your nukes under the ground and we keep our nukes under the ground. You know what I'm saying? And you sign an agreement, you know, or a treaty, right? And it's good for 7 years or whatever, right? You got to go by it. So why wouldn't Israel want that? But see, Israel hates Iran. And Iran hates Israel because they know that they are not the true Israelites. I mean, we came here black as I don't know what. And now Lily is I don't know what. And they know the tribes that they really come from, like the Cadaskian tribes, the Greek tribes. You know, that's why they don't do blood tests in Israel. You know, so that's just another story, right? So God said you have to pray against that little country, Israel, because he said they may try something to stop these talks, right? So as long as we pray against it, it could be canceled. Now, getting back to Trump, if they assassinate him, America will go with him. All the plans that God is using him to do. I mean, we know he's a vulgar man. He cusses, you know, and then in the same token, he praises God. He prays. You know, he got Christians around him, but he's still a vulgar man. And you have a lot of Christians out here that are very vulgar. They curse, they smoke, you know, they do what they want, but they love God. You got a lot of them that come on here and all these other platforms and teach, but curse up a storm. You can't even listen to them, but they're so anointed and wisdom, but they curse so much you can't even listen to them. Some of them smoke, you know, they do all kinds of stuff, but they're anointed. So we know President Trump isn't perfect. And is he a perfect Christian? He's not. but he's the first president that pray and give God glory. That's his stand for something. You know what I mean? But God said we need to pray against assassination attempts on Donald Trump's life, because if they get him, America's going with him. So that means, J.D. Vance, I don't know. I mean, if God forbid something happened to Trump, J.D. Vance is next. I mean, obviously he might not be like Trump. I don't know. Or he might not know how to handle things, you know what I mean? Because he's never been in that position before, right? He's a new, vice president. So please pray. Whether you like Donald Trump or not, you need to pray for him, because God said America will die with Trump. That's exactly what he said. And Trump had on that jumpsuit that was red, white, and blue. It was buttoned up to his neck. Now, for assembly, a black man, that was shocking. I mean, shocking. I said, Daddy, why is he black? And the Lord said he's going to do something for black people. I told y'all this last year before he even won. God told me he was going to do something good for the copper black people. But I don't know what it is he going to do for us. And now I saw him black as day. Black as my shirt. And the Lord said it represented him doing something for black people. And the enemy knows whatever it is he's going to do, and the enemy don't want him to do that. So y'all, they trying to kill Donald Trump with America with him. Because I guess all the stuff that he still has to do will die with him. And it will cause our country to go down. Maybe a second world country. If those enemies, Democrats get back in there, or they start controlling J.D. Vance, because he would automatically become the president, automatically, because it has happened 2 or 3 times in history. I think of Roosevelt Theodore. Was he one of them, or was it one that took him after his second term? He only did 3 months in his second term, and somebody else took over. I can't remember who the vice president was, and it happened another time, right? So obviously God is showing me that J.D. Vance is not as strong as Trump, and maybe he could be controlled. You know what I mean? So please, guys, whether you hate Trump or not, you need to pray for him, because if they get him, our country's going with him. And even if you hate the man, you dislike the man, you don't want your country going to a second world country. You don't want to go through that stuff we went through with the last administration, And God said in 9 to 12 months you would see what the man is doing, So I am pleading with you guys to please pray for our president, whether you like him or not, that they don't assassinate him, because our country cannot go down. God has given us a last chance to get it straight. So, our country cannot go down. And if people could just pray to God and ask God to open their eyes spiritually to see what he's doing, they would understand, so they wouldn't be out here rioting. And we got to pray against civil unrest, because I saw that and I told y'all about that. So, and I kept seeing New York and D.C. standing out. So pray against civil unrest, because if it gets that bad, martial law's coming, y'all. Y'all don't want that. Y'all don't want that. And don't believe that lie going around that Trump is going to issue martial law on April 20th. There's no proof of that anywhere. And there's no reason for him to do that. And they do this all the time, put out fear in people, because they feed off of fear. The enemy feeds off of fear and propaganda. You know what I mean? So keep the man in prayer. And whatever he going to do for black people, it must going to be amazing, because they don't want him to do it. I mean, he was so black, it was ridiculous. It was black as my shirt, because, I call people like that blue black. That in Africa, they have people black like that. And that is the most beautiful black you can ever see, right? But I call them blue black. They so black. You can see they white teeth at night. My husband, who passed away, he was half Haitian. Oh my God, that was the blackest man I ever had. But I loved him though. He had a lot of melanin in his butt. Man, I love that dark man. So please keep our president in prayer. Y'all showed me in 2020 Donald Trump as a black man. when you said that my heart had a shot. Oh my goodness. You had just confirmed what I've been questioning. Oh wow, in 2020 you saw him as a black man. I know you were shocked just like I was. I'm like, what the world? And then he had on the blue, red, white, and blue flag jumps. I'm like, what the world? I ain't never seen him like that. You know, so y'all, he cannot die. Cause our country going with him. You remember that vision I had? It was copper behind him. It became gold. And it said golden age, chosen one. So that means God forbid something happened to him. The golden age is going, everything going with him. So they must plan on a, well, I told you I saw him traveling somewhere abroad, and there was a bomb in a black SUV or something like that. And then I saw him traveling here in America, and somebody tried to get him, right? So they are planning on trying to get him, guys. So pray his security cannot be compromised, and that they watch him really good, and pray that he is very careful, and that he doesn't get real relaxed and comfortable. You know what I mean? And that he stays prayerful. And those people around him, pray that God touch them to start praying for him. Because a lot of them Christians around him ain't right. They just want money and fame, you know. And that prophecy about Kenneth Copeland came to pass. Didn't I tell y'all 3 years ago God was going to take Kenneth Copeland down? Do you know he's in prison for life for embezzling the church funds? Buying houses and planes with the church funds, and now he's on. Now you're allowed to take a salary. I think it's 55% of donations. You can take that as a salary in your church or your ministry to pay yourself so you can survive. But the rest of it has to, go to ministry and helping people, stuff like that. He was taking 95% of the donations, and only 5% was going out. He was embezzling, so he had these 3 accountants working for him, and they just started copying stuff so they can, turn them in, and they did. This man had offshore accounts, y'all. They say he was worth $750 million. They say he was the richest pastor, but he probably was worth $1 billion because he had offshore accounts, y'all. He even swindled this lady out of millions of dollars, her life savings. So what they did was they took a lot of stuff from him, but the church is remained, and they're looking for somebody to replace him. But they took a lot of stuff from him, and they're going to start giving that money back to the people he fleeced of millions. Elderly people. That man was a devil, and he 80 years old, and they gave him life in prison. I said, well, Daddy, maybe now he'll get right with you, and you could use him in prison, because they honor men of God and women of God in prison. Because I know somebody who went to prison for 9 months, and he was a man of God, and the whole time he was in prison, all he did was save souls. People was crying when he left prison. I tell you, they were crying because he left prison. He saved so many souls in that prison. He couldn't understand why God let him go to prison. He could have got 10 years. This was my brother in the Lord. And God used me mightily to help him, praying for him, doing this, doing fasting, all kinds of stuff. Even when he was going to court, he was supposed to be in jail, y'all. But because God used me to pray and all the stuff I did, God kept him out of the prison for the 1 year of court. And then he was supposed to pay back, I think $60,000. He only had to pay back $3,000, but he had to do 9 months. And he was so upset with God. But when he got out of prison, he was praising God because he saved so many lives. And he was thanking me because he was like, if it wasn't for God using you and fasting and having me do all of this, I would be in jail for 10 years. And owing all that money. And God, he really used me mightily. I was fasting for that man because, it's my brother. But me and him, when I told him about Yadabar not being an angel and stuff and other stuff, he ain't like that. So he cut a sister off. But he tried to come back last year. I'm like, nah, boo. Deuces! I forgive you, but deuces! I don't need you in my life. But I forgive you. And God was good with that, right? Because I couldn't believe he did that to me. I was like, God used me to keep your behind out of jail doing court. And you got 9 months instead of 10 years, 10 to 15 years. And you only had to pay 3,000 some change versus 50, 60. And you're going to get mad at me because I told you Yadaboff was the chief guard and that Mama Ru made him. He know Mama Ru. So you're going to get mad at me and cut me off. You deserve what you get. Deuces. But I forgive you. I forgive you. And that's the second time he cut me off. The first time he cut me off, again, Daddy told me to teach him something. And you know how he came back? It was in September 2019. You know, I'm just telling this testimony because the Holy Spirit lead me to. I'm not putting his business out there. God just want me to tell it. In September 2019, I was sleeping and I saw him doing something crazy to himself. Just put it that way. And I woke up. I was like, God, what the world? He said, you need to call him ASAP. I said, okay, I hadn't even prayed or nothing. God was like, you need to call him ASAP. I said, he going to answer the phone, Daddy, because it's like early. He's like, he going to answer because I'm going to have him answer it. So I called him. On the second ring, he answered. And, you know, he knew it was me because he knew my number. So, and I said to him, I said, God, show me you was about to do so-and-so to yourself. He said, yes. And I said, God said, if you do that, you will regret it. And he didn't do it. He's still here to today. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. So that's how powerful God is. Somebody could be ready to do something crazy to themselves, and God will show you in a vision and have you call that person and talk them out of it. What? And then when he got mad at me the second time, because God told me to tell him, and God knew he was going to get mad at me. So I guess that's why God did that. Because God knows the heart. And I kept saying, Daddy, why he get mad at me over that? He know you be telling me stuff, you know, and all the stuff you use me to do for him. Why would he do that? Why wouldn't he just pray to you and confirm it? But God knew he was going to do that. And I think it was time for him to come out of my life, or for me to come out of his life, because he tried last year, but I was like, deuces, boo. I ain't said to him, I said to myself, you know, I mean, I love him. He's my brother. I even pray for him to this day. But twice, once, shame on you. Twice, shame on me. It ain't happening. It can't trust you no more, because the least little thing, the wind gonna blow you. Yeah, I had another brother that did that to me. We was really, really close, like brothers and sisters for like four years. And he was in one of my classes I used to do. And in those classes, when it was finished, I would prophesy for people. So he was one of the ones. And he asked me about this female that he met. And I guess he was really in love with her and wanted to marry her, but I didn't realize it. So I went in the spirit room and I asked God, and God told me to tell him not to marry her. He would be making a grave mistake, big mistake. Why I tell him that? He cut me off. And I guess he went and married that chick, but I guess he found out that I was right. You know, and some people, they are very prideful. They don't want to come back and apologize to you. I'm like, that's all right. And now that really, really hurted me, because I really loved that brother like a brother. And he used to be so good to me. I mean, so good to me. And I would be good to him. You know, there's just some men, they're like your brothers, and you could trust them, and you know they would never harm you or do anything to you. They're just meant to be your brother, not a lover or a husband, right? And he used to do so much good for me, and I would do good for him. So when it came, but how many of you know you can have a good relationship with a man as a female, being a brother or a sister, you know, even blood brother and sister, right? And let them meet a woman that they fall in love with. And let you try and tell them the truth about that woman that they can't see. It don't matter what type of relationship you had, they will cut you off for that woman. Yes, they will. And a woman will cut you off for that man. And that's the mistake many people make. When your family or your friend trying to tell you something, they trying to tell you because they love you. And you cut them off. And that's the worst thing you could do, because then when it comes to pass and your tail's between your behind, you got a hard time coming back, especially if you do it twice. And then you live in regret. Then I had another brother. Y'all know him. I ain't mentioning his name. It's been about 2 years. He was very good to me too. Him and his wife. His wife, you know, she had an illness, right? And I prayed and God delivered her from it. She could have died from it. And I prayed and God delivered her from it. You know, and you know, she was struggling in other areas, and I prayed and God favored her and opened doors and stuff. You know, but my brother, he started going to this church and he started, you know, telling them about me, and they soured his mind against me, and he literally changed. And it really blew me away, because I was like, God, look at all the stuff he's done for me, and look at all the stuff I've done for him. Look at all the stuff him and his wife has done for me, and look at all the stuff I've done for him. Look at all the fasting and the praying. He knows I'm of you. But he let these other people in this church spoil his mind against me. So he went against me. 3 months later, he comes back. He apologized. You know, I forgive him because he was my brother and I love him. It lasted 2 months. He reverted right back to that first time, and even got worse. And I told God, I said, God, man, you seal and close that door. I still pray for him to this day and his wife, but I don't want nothing to do with him. Nothing. Because I don't know, me, I'm the type of person, if you are really good to me, you really show me love, honor, and respect. And if you say something that's off the wall, I'm not going to cut you off. I'm going to go to God and be like, what the world are they talking about? if I ask you a question about somebody and you're a prophet and you tell me what God say, I'm not going to cut you off. I may not like it, but I'm not going to cut you off. I'm going to go to God. There's been times prophets have told me things that I didn't like, but I didn't cut them off. I went to God and he told me, yeah, they're telling the truth. I'm like, oh man, I got to fix this, right? But I would never cut you off, because I don't forget what people do for me. I never forget what a person does for me. I never forget a person who truly loved me. Like, I'll never forget Pat. I'll never forget Shelly and Travis. And there's quite a few of you out there that I will never, but especially Pat, Shelly, and Travis, and Kelly, and Sister Alicia, and Mama Lena, and a couple of my brothers, right? I would never forget them. Do you know how many times Pat has like really gotten on my NERVE? Do you know how many times I just wanted to just grab her and just shake everything out of her? Because she's such a mother hubber, right? Do you know how many times I wanted to tell her, will you mind your business? Will you just shut up? But I don't, because I have respect for her and I honor her and I love her as a sister. But she can get on my NERVE sometimes. And sometimes I don't be wanting to be bothered with her. I'll be telling her, look, I'm chilling with God for a week. She'd be like, okay. And then sometimes she don't want to be bothered with me. And I'll tell her, look, we ain't got to roll nowhere this day or that day. You just go and you stay home and do what you do. And I'll be creeping out the door in the Uber or something. You know what I'm saying, right? So, and then I'll ask her, what you do on that? Oh, I went shopping. I did this. Or she'd be like, girl, I stayed home. I was chilling. You know what I mean? So that's love. That's true sisterhood, friendship. You know what I mean? And I would never cut her off because she done made me angry or mad. And she has said things trying to be a mother hubber to me. And I would tell her, look, you better go somewhere and sit down and chill. You get your mouth, okay? And she'd be like, I'm sorry. And then sometimes when I say stuff she don't like, she'd be like, sis, you know you ain't right. Why you say that? Why you hurt my feelings? And I be like, I did. I'm sorry, baby. I'll hug her, you know. But that's true friendship. That's true love. You don't get mad at somebody because they say something you don't like, or cut them off, or because you're going to this new church, you letting them spoil your mind against that person. Did that person in that church do all the stuff I did for you? Did you do all the stuff that you did for me? No. So that shows you that they never really loved me, my 3 brothers I'm talking about. They really didn't love me the way that I really loved them. Because I would never betray you because you said something to me I don't like. Or you did something. Now look, if I was married and you was my best friend and I found out you trying to mess with my man. Oh, heck yeah, I'm cutting your behind off. I'll forgive you, but I'm cutting your behind off because now you done really stepped your boundaries. You tried to come in my back door and get my man, so I can never trust you. But I still love you, and I still pray for you. Now, sound like that different. But if I'm telling you a prophecy or I'm telling you something about the spiritual realm, why would you cut me off for that? That means you never loved me the way you profess to love me, and you didn't even go to God to ask him if I was telling the truth. Then you want to try and come back? And then you come back a second time, you do it again, and you think you're going to step in here a third time? Deuces. No, you're not. But I still love you, and I'll still pray for you, but don't let the door hit your back, boo. You're not getting in my life because I can't trust you. But I will love you, and I will pray for you. Now, if God tell me to let the person back in, I would have to really fast hard to make sure. But it still wouldn't be the same because you forgave them. But in your mind, you looking for them to do what they done did 2 times already. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Just be truthful and honest. That's how you gain respect from people. Be the real deal, and God will. That's right. You know, people do something you don't like, you know, you real close to them. You be like, look, I don't like that. Like Pat will tell me if she don't like something, I'll tell her if I don't like something. When my son was speaking to me, if I said something he didn't like, his in my eye, I didn't like that. You know, you got to be honest with a person. You can't hold things in. So if my brother, who I told him about the woman, if he didn't like that, he should have said, you know what, Apostle, I honor you and I respect you, but you know, I don't believe that word from, so basically, you know, he would be saying to me, I don't believe God said that to you, right? But that's okay. I don't get offended because people have told me in the past, I don't believe that word you told me is from God. And I'm like, you know what? That's your prerogative. I said, I can't hate on you and get mad at you because you don't want to believe the God in me, but you'll find out. And then they come back later and be like, Apostle, I'm so sorry. What you said came to pass. I said, I said, I forgive you. I said, but you need to be saying sorry to daddy first, right? And I've had so many people apologize to me. It's ridiculous. And I tell them, look, I ain't mad at you. I was never mad at you. I still pray for you to this day. I said, but you need to repent to God, right? For not believing the God in me. That is your prerogative. You don't have to believe anything that comes out of my mouth or anybody else's mouth for that matter. But do yourself a favor and go to our Father and at least pray and confirm if it's true. Don't just nix the person, go against the person, because guess what? God gonna go against you, and it's gonna delay whatever you're supposed to get. You know what I mean? Because God has a way of revealing hidden things, and some people, when God reveals hidden things, they don't like it. They don't like if you tell somebody they're in love with this woman, and you tell them that's not the woman for you, they're not gonna want to hear that because they're already in love with the person. You know, they already done put work in there. And sometimes, like, I've had females come to me. Like this one female I told y'all before, she wanted to marry this guy, right? She had never slept with him or anything, right? And he wanted to marry her ASAP, right? I told her, I said, God said, don't marry him. You're going to regret it. She got mad at me. Didn't talk to me no more. She divorced him 4 months later. You want to know why? He was impotent. Told her not to marry him. She would be so unhappy. She would be miserable. 4 months later, she divorced him. It was impotent. Couldn't even have that kind of relationship a husband and wife is supposed to have. She came back and she apologized to me. Then 6 months later, she met another man and she came to me. And I said, yeah, God said he's the one. She married him. As far as I know, she's still married to him. Look, I'm not the kind of prophet that's going to lie to you to make you happy, because that's going to fall on me. Judgment is going to fall on me. So I'm going to always be real with you. I'm always going to be raw, and I'm always going to tell you the truth. And I will take the risk of losing you, or you not liking me, or you not talking to me. I will take the risk, because it is better to serve God righteously than to serve God unrighteously. It is better to be truthful than to compromise yourself before your Father. And you got to deal with him for doing that. And that's not happening with me. So I will tell you the truth. And if I don't hear anything, I don't hear nothing, because I ain't going to prophesy. You know, if I don't know anything, I don't know anything. You know what I mean? I ain't going to just be prophesying for the heck of it. And I'll never ask you for money for a prophecy neither. If you want to give me money for a prophecy, that's on you, because I did that with many prophets. I just willingly gave it to them. But I don't ask you for money. You go to some of these websites, they tell you I recommend that you donate for a word. What? The word of God is free. Do you know I could be like a multi-millionaire by now? All the work I've invested in God's people and didn't get no returns. But I could have charged. Look at all the free info I get y'all. I could go and have classes and charge y'all $50, $60 a pop on Zoom or whatever and give you this stuff. But I give it to you for free. Why? Because God freely gave it to me. So I will freely give it to you. Of course, I will write books to some information you will be paying for because I got to eat, you know. And of course, I will coach you, but you going to pay me, you know, because I got to eat. And I don't ask for donations, hardly none. But at times God will have me to, because he'll turn around and it'd be so many, like this lady yesterday. She was homeless, crying, out of her wits. And I donated to her. And I've done that a couple of times. You know what I mean? Like, I know when he give me some money, it's for people out there on the streets. He'll use me to put people in hotels for 3, 4, 5 days. Send them home on the Greyhound or a plane. You know, or give them gas money so they could drive home. Give people food. I go to the food bank every month, once or twice, and donate food. So I know when he gives me money, you know, part of it is for me, for my keeping myself, but most of it goes out to the people. You know, because so many people are hurting right now. Ooh, God bless you. Me and you two just made some money. Bless your heart, baby. $1 billion in Shua's name. Right? And like all the time, I have people tell me, like last week, God had me help somebody, right? It's a brother of mine. And he was so shocked. And he was like, where do you come from? Do you come directly from heaven? Were you not in your mom's womb? Did God just put you here? Right? And then he said to me, and so many other people say this to me all the time, I never met anybody like you. There's not many people out there like you that would do the things that you do. And I said, because that is the God in me. When our Messiah walked the earth, he did the exact things that I do, but maybe in a different way. But he sat with the derelicts. He ate with the derelicts. He helped feed the derelicts. He healed them. He prayed for them. Some were smelly and stinky, and he still allowed them to hug him. You know what I mean? He'll talk to them. And, you know, when I give people money on the street, I talk to them. I'll be like, how did you get like this? You know, what happened? And they tell me, and then I pray for them. And they start crying. And they could be smelly as I don't know what. And they be like, can I hug you? And I'll be like, okay, because I really don't like people hugging me. But I ask God to, you know, help me to accept hugs. You know, I accept it from my kids. But even Pat, I'll be like, get off of me. All right? So I'll be like, oh, okay. You know, and then the hug, and then sometimes you don't want to let me go. And then Pat, a lot of times she'll be around, she'll be like, yeah, she's very hard to let go. She's so hard to let go. And I'll be like, I can't breathe. You know, I'm like, oh, okay. You know, and then Pat she'll be smiling like, yeah. She's very hard to let go of. I'll be looking at her like, really, baby? That's my baby. That's my boo. That's my sister. That's my big sister. You know, big sisters really get on your nerves sometimes. And sometimes you don't like them, but you still love them. You still love them. You know, and baby sisters get on your nerves. And sometimes you don't like them, but she still loves me. Because I can be a handful. Anybody that knows me can tell you I can be a handful sometimes. I'm not bossy or anything like that, but I could be a handful. I could be a handful. I really could. When you told me about those females from the Bible group, I cut them off because you are too accurate. LOL. Bless your heart, heaven. Yeah. Okay. So let me give you May. Okay. This is what the Lord said about May. I kept seeing like golden coins in the month of May. And then he took me back to this vision. I had this vision 2 years ago. I was in this pretty place. I don't know if it was a house or a villa, but it was really pretty. And the bedroom I was in had a beautiful canopy. You know those canopy beds? I used to have those when I was a kid. I love those, right? So it was a canopy bed. And it like the material on it was like pretty, like the light, pretty fuchsia, different colors, right? And I was sitting there, and the door was closed, and I think the door was like a money green color or mixed with burgundy in it, right? This was like 2 years ago. And I was sitting on the edge of the bed, and I had this big like box. I don't know if it was white and gold or all white, and it had all these big coins in it, and they all, and when I got to the middle, the middle coin was all the coins were gold, and then the coins behind the middle coin were gold, right? But there was this one big coin in the middle was black, and it had the word B on it, Bitcoin, right? But it was black, and it had the word collapse written under it, right? Like 2-3 years ago. So I knew that actually the Holy Spirit is wrong. I had this vision before the collapse happened in the end of November 2021, right? About a month before that, October. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And so I knew in the vision that and the market was doing good, and I knew in the vision that the market was about to collapse, but I didn't know exactly when. And it started collapsing the day after Thanksgiving, that Black Friday. I remember I told you me and my brothers made a lot of money off of jasmine, and that was the last time I made that kind of money off of jasmine. So that's been like 3 years and 5 months now, right? So Satan Yadabaoth was across the street, and he was pacing back and forth. He's trying to figure a way how to get into this villa and take my coins from me, right? He was pacing back and forth, back and forth. Then he turned into my daughter, my baby daughter, thinking I would be fooled and let him in. But when I saw her, I was like, something ain't right about her. And then I heard God as clear as day. He said, because that's not her. And then it turned back into Yadabaoth, and he was just pacing back and forth, trying to get in and take my coins, right? And I was like, so I said, Daddy, in the vision, I said, there's going to be a grave collapse. And I told y'all about the collapse, and it came. I said, it's going to be a grave collapse. Bitcoin is going to collapse. And that's when I started seeing Bitcoin going to 15,000 and 16,000. And it happened. It went to 15,000 twice and 16,000 2 or 3 times. So it happened. And everybody laughed at me. But when it happened, it was like, ooh, you said that. Right? So I knew that a big collapse was coming. And it was going to be a disruption in the cryptocurrency, because that big black Bitcoin was in the middle. Like it was like 10 coins in the front and 10 coins in the back. They were all gold, but the one in the middle was the big old Bitcoin. So I knew it was going to be a black, what do you call that? Black Friday. When you doing Russian roulette, I knew everything was about to go black or red, whatever you do. I knew we was about to come into a big collapse, and I told y'all that. And that's when Daddy started showing me visions of Bitcoin, and because under the coin it said collapse, and Bitcoin collapsed. It went all the way down to 15 grand. I told y'all I was gonna do that, right? And Ethereum had went all the way down, I think almost to 1,000, and I told y'all that, right? So I just told y'all about the collapse and the Bitcoin and the prices, right? But I never told y'all about the gold coins I saw, right? So I knew after that big collapse happened, and I knew after Bitcoin had fell the way it would fall, I knew it was 10 coins in the back of the Bitcoin, and they were big and gold, and they were cryptocurrency. So I said in the vision to God, I said, God, all we got to do, I didn't know the collapse was going to last this long, right? I thought it would maybe last maybe a year or two. So I was like, Daddy, so when we get through the collapse, that means that when the bull run starts, it's going to be a super cycle bull run, one we never seen before, and it might last a while, because it was 10 big golden coins behind it, just like it was 10 big golden coins in front of it. And I think the market had ran good for like 3 or 4 years before it collapsed, right? Because Bitcoin had went to $25,000 in 2018, and that started the run, right? So if I'm not mistaken, because of those 10 coins, I'm thinking that the bull run may run a while, like 3-4 years, and it might have like small little collapses, but nothing like what we're experiencing and what we experienced before. And it's going to be a super cycle, because them coins was like this big, and they were crypto coins. And then the first coin of the 10 coins had a B on it. So that meant that Bitcoin was going to outdo itself. It's going to shatter records. It already did with the 110 grand that I told you I saw coming, and that happened. So it's going to shatter records, and I believe that the bull run, the other coins are going to shatter records, because God says some coins would only go back 20%, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100. And he told me many would get delisted off of platforms, and we seen that. Many. Coinbase are delisted about 12 of them already in the past 3 years, maybe more. So we're seeing that. He also showed me platforms would collapse. FTX. Remember the problems in the vision I saw about Binance? Happened, but now Trump is going to probably reinstate them, because he's been meeting with Trump. So hopefully God will restore Binance back in America. If he does that, it's going to make the market take off. Man, it's going to make the market take off, right? So hopefully he does that. And then I saw in the month of May, Trump signing some executive orders, and it was going to be good for cryptos and stocks, because the stock market has really taken a bang. I mean, it's stocks that was $500 to $2,000, and they're like $50, $2. Look at AMC. It was 75. Maybe I saw it go to 75, and it did. What is it now? $2 and some change. And AMC is going to go up again, because I had visions of that last year. Remember that thing I saw, $1,500 prepaid card? I'm not saying it's going to go to $1,500, but it's going to go up, right? So y'all just get ready. The bull run is coming. And he brought that vision back to me, because I forgot about it. It's coming. And it was 10 coins behind that black Bitcoin. And the first one had a B on it. So I believe when the bull run starts, it's going to keep going for a couple of years. But we may have fallbacks. You know, you may have a little crash. But nothing like we've been experiencing these past 3 years and 5 years, right? I mean, 3 years and 5 months. So he brought that vision back to me, and he told me to share it. So the month of May, I saw our president doing some executive orders. I think it was like 2 or 3, and it has something to do with crypto and stock and their reserves basket of coins. And I saw him adding, like, there was a basket next to him, and it had the word C on it. So I know it meant crypto. And he was adding stuff in it. It was already crypto in there, and he was adding stuff in it. And he's going to sign some executive orders in May that's going to have something to do with crypto. And it's going to help the market to go up. But I don't know what he's going to sign. Y'all know every time I see him doing stuff, it happen. Look at the tariff. Look at what's happening. I seen it all. And I told y'all my witness, right? Every time I see him doing stuff. And I told you when he got in office, he would just tear up. He would just eradicate what Biden did. And he did it. He did it. He did it. So just trust the process, y'all. That's all I can tell y'all. Just trust. I'm not a financial advisor or guru. I'm just an apostle with a prophetess layer. All right. Okay, so I gotta go. So I know y'all like kind of like sour toward me. What's TikTok? I promise y'all I'm coming on this weekend. I promise y'all I'm coming on this weekend. And I haven't been on Instagram in like 2 weeks. So I promise y'all I'm coming to Instagram. Facebook, y'all already know the deal. I ain't studying Facebook. I'm not. I'm just gonna be uploading on there. Every blue moon I'll come on there. You know what I mean? And I'll see the members this weekend. And I wanted to do the lunch thing, but I gotta have time to do it. Because when I put it up there and y'all put your cash apps, I got to have time to cash app y'all. So I will be doing it before the week is out for the lunch thing. Hey, Rose. God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful day, too. Okay. So look for the quantum book. Hopefully by Thursday or Friday. But I'm going to put it on ebook, Amazon, hopefully Wednesday or this weekend. Right? Because sometimes I don't always do what I tell y'all I'm going to do, so I have to repent. As I get busy, I'm like, Daddy, I'm sorry. I told him I was going to do it today. You know, as long as you repent for making promises, God is okay, because he knows we do that sometimes, you know, as long as you repent. But I've been trying to do everything that I tell y'all that I'm going to do. I've been getting pretty good at it. Grand Rising, on my way to pick. Okay, sis, I'm coming. It's just great to catch you live for a few minutes before my work meeting start. May y'all continue to book. You too, sweetie. All right, so I gotta go. So anybody that need prayer, I pray that God answer you and give you what you need. Right? Y'all have a blessed day in the Lord. Okay, and just look forward to the future. I know there's such bad things going on in the world. I know it seems uncertain. I know it could be a bit scary. Yes, we are in end times. Yes, the devil wants to eradicate things and people. But if we keep our eyes on God like flint and stand on the rock of ages, we will not be moved. And just know that God is with us and trust the process. All right. If it seems like he not, doing nothing, he is, just trust the process. And as long as you're one of his chosen ones, it doesn't matter what color you are, as long as you're one of his chosen ones, he's going to protect you. He says the righteous falleth much, but they prevaileth. So he's going to protect you. He's even going to protect your sinful family under your umbrella and get them extensions on their lives. So you just got to trust him and trust the process and stay hidden in God. Ask God to keep you hidden in him. Ask God to keep you in him. Ask God to teach you how to live in him, how to survive in him. And you will survive through this world and do all the things he sent you here to do. Okay, so just remember that. Never give up on God, no matter how hard life get. Never give up on him. Just look to him and pray to him, and he will help you. He will send angels. He will send people. He will put you in situations that will help you. He will reach the right people to reach you, to help you with anything you need in life. Okay, spiritually and physically. So remember that in Yeshua's name. Shalom.